If you want to be a Christian, you need to know this story. It is a top 5 story. And that is evident in how much it's covered. You think about how many papers cover the Super Bowl and how many papers cover the July 4th parade at the Edisto Beach, the little quarter turn there. You can think about how important that story is. I'm going to use the cockerels as an example here. Cockerels go to a fun place like a flea market where there's all sorts of crazy stuff. Okay, they're there for 5 hours. We interview them afterwards and we say, "What did you see? Do you think you're going to see? You think you're going to hear the same thing from father, mother, older sister, younger sister?" No, not in any way, shape, or form. Anne-Marie might tell you, David might call you, Tori might email you, Aaron's going to text you, no question. And they're going to tell you different stuff. I saw music, I saw shirts, I saw memorabilia, I saw any number of things. But if they all saw the same thing and all told you, I saw this one thing, you can tell, well, that's an important thing because they all covered it. This story is in 3 out of the 4 Gospels in some way, shape, or form. And the 3 are what they call synoptic. John is so different and so off the line in terms of chronology that the other 3 are considered synoptic. They tell pretty much the same story. And all 3 told this story. It's because it's a story of redemption, a story of hope that we all need to hear. Let's look at the first part of it. After a few days, Jesus returned to Capernaum, and word got around that he was back home. A crowd gathered, jamming the entrance so no one could get in or out. He was teaching the word, and they brought a paraplegic to him, carried by 4 men. And just stay right there, Corey. The best seats cost the most money. It's that simple. If you want to go to a big event and you want to have a seat close to that event, it's going to cost you a lot of money. If you go to Disney Princesses on Ice, for instance, and you want to sit down on the ice, it's going to cost you a different amount than if you want to sit up in the stands. If you want to go downtown and watch the Charleston Orchestra and you want to sit down low, it's going to cost you a certain amount of money. Do you think that's any different in this story? Jesus is coming back home. This is his new home because he's been rejected in his old home. And word is starting to really, really spread about him. And so as he comes back into the town, people want to see him. And if he goes into a small house, well, there's only a certain number of people can be in there. Who do you think is going to be in there? You know, most powerful, most influential of that community get to be on the inside, and other people are on the outside. And as Jesus is teaching, he's interrupted. And I can understand this sort of thing because it's happened to me in a number of different ways. When I went home to preach in my home church, about 60 seconds into my sermon, the microphone popped and went to a squeal that drove everybody crazy. Well, my home church is way different than this one. We built this one in a way that everyone's close. In mine, it is the longest sanctuary I've ever seen in my life. And you know, when you go home, things are smaller. It's bigger because it's just so much longer. And so the microphone pops 60 seconds in, and I've got another 15 minutes to go to reach the back row. And so that sort of interruption, you thinking as a speaker, well, here we go. It's going to be hard to maintain people's attention. Sometimes there is some sort of cry that's going to shake people's attention. Thunderstorm, any sort of thing like that, when a public speaker knows there's going to be a big distraction, we're going to have to recover from this. Well, this distraction is a little bit different. 4 men are about to cut a hole in this man's roof so that they can let their friend down to see Jesus. Let's read. When they weren't able to get in because of the crowd, they removed part of the roof and lowered the paraplegic on his stretcher. Impressed by their bold belief, Jesus said to the paraplegic, "Son, I forgive your sins." So can you imagine, you are the most powerful person in the community. You've got Jesus coming to your house. And Cate says that I straighten up and she cleans up. Like if somebody's coming over, I think I've done my part and I've straightened up the whole house, and I think, oh, we're ready to go. And she's like, no, this isn't even close. Of course, she cleans up, and I straighten up. And so if she cleans up, I think, this isn't straight at all. And she's like, well, you just can't see the little, whatever she's dusted off or some sort of shape or form. If you're hosting someone, this is a big deal, and you've got people coming in your house. This man has Jesus in his house, and all the most influential people of the city. This is a good day. It's a big day for me. Except someone's digging a hole in my roof to let a man in. Things have gotten a little bit out of control. There's something in those men that wasn't going to let them quit until they got their friend to Jesus. Now, there's 3 levels to this redemption. 3 levels why it's important. 1, the nation of Israel, the people that are in this room, their entire nation has gone through intense devastation for centuries. They're not very big. And monster countries have come in, dominated them, destroyed all their stuff, annexed them, and brought them into their country. And then another one comes in, and then another one comes in. They've been exiled. They've been in slavery. Any way, shape, or form, they have not been very powerful in the global community. And so their entire nation needs help. Jesus himself had been rejected in his hometown. If I were to go to my hometown church, which I had to do, I had to say to my church, I would like to be a minister. And that church's committee that deals with ministers had to approve me as a minister. Now, if I were to go to that committee and say, I would really like to be a minister, and they say, no, we remember when you were 4 and you were in the nursery and you colored all over the walls. There's no way. We remember when you were 14 and your parents left and you drove your mom's car around the neighborhood just one time and then put ice bags on the hood so she wouldn't notice. Any way, shape, or form, we don't feel like you're fit. You're done. Jesus, in his hometown of Nazareth, said, well, of course, he took it up a notch. I said I wanted to be a minister. He said that he was the Son of God, which that'd be kind of drastic. He said he was the Son of God, and they said, no, you're not. Get out of here. His family thought he was crazy, too. And, of course, this man on a stretcher. 3 very large levels of people needing to be redeemed. Now, he's on a stretcher and is on the outside of the house because he's one of the weaker people in the community. That's because these people, as we talked about in Sunday school, when we talk about environment, germs, family history, viruses, these are things that these people do not know about. We sort of know about them. As many advances in technology we've made, we sort of know about them, but we still don't completely understand them. They have a simple word for it. If you're sick, or if you're ill, or if you're paralyzed, or if you're on the outside, sin. You must have done something. Or your family must have done something for you to be in this state. Of course, by saying so and by judging that person, they're saying to themselves as able-bodied people, we must be okay. We must not be sinful. So these men take it upon themselves to say, this isn't the way it's going to be, that we're going to take our friend in and see Jesus.